It's pretty amazing. You get this full color image with this 4 screens on 4 color process. But the downside is if you really miss those bright, light, fluorescent colors, that green's just not popping out of the text. So this video is going to show you a simple way to create a highlight channel and how to add it into your 4 color process. So here's how we get the highlight screen out of Photoshop. We select all of our colors, CMYK, and then go to color range. Now we can actually select the green in the design. Because we're creating a film positive, we're going to invert that selection and just select the green positive area. We're going to adjust our fuzziness and the area of the image that we're selecting, so we're only selecting the green area of that image. Once we have just the green selected, we're going to save that selection. We're going to name the channel our HL green or highlight green. Then I'll see this pop up in my channel menu. I'll double click that and actually change it to a spot color and load the actual fluorescent green into it. Now we can go through our separations again. Go yellow, magenta, cyan, black, and then the highlight green. And that green comes back into our image nice and bright. For the background of this print, we're using Avient's ASI 4-color process inks, and then for our highlight green in that text, we're using our Rio electric green, which is basically a fluorescent green. However, this green is not nearly the same consistency as that 4-color process, so we need to reduce that. You use the halftone base, but a lot of people don't have that in their shop because they're not doing a lot of 4-color process. Today we're using Fashion Soft. We're gonna add about 50% to really get that ink flowing. And what that does is it matches the consistency and more transparency of these 4-color process inks. 4-color process inks inherently aren't that thick and they don't have a lot of transparency. So even though we're using the RFU colors, we wanna make sure that that ink feels similar to the 4-color process colors and matches that consistency on the t-shirt. While you can print your highlights a variety of different ways, because they're a highlight screen, typically recommend at least starting with the print order with using them last. So we're gonna do our traditional 1 pass of yellow, 1 pass of magenta, and then 1 pass of cyan, and then 1 pass of black, giving us our CMYK print. And then we're gonna go ahead and add that highlight screen. For some reason, if that highlight screen is just too bright or muddying out the rest of your print, that's when you can actually adjust the print order. You could try adding that highlight screen first, or maybe in the middle of the print order so it gets stepped on and it's less vibrant at the end. So here's our print prior to the green, and then we'll go ahead and add the green. Now, if you notice, this green is running nice and smooth, very similar consistency and transparency. In fact, in that flood, you can even see through it to those 4-color process inks. And that's exactly what we want with this highlight. And the highlight definitely makes that print come to life. You can play with it. If it's not bright enough, maybe you add 2 passes to the highlight. Just to play with it and have fun, let's actually take a look at what this looks like if we put the highlight screen at the beginning of this print order. You notice you already see some of your design on the back because of our ink build. I am gonna go the traditional order after this. Honestly, it looks a little bit better with this green at the front of this print order. It looks natural, looks more like a part of the print because those other colors got to print on top of it. You may be wondering, how many highlights do I actually need in 4-color process? Well, a good way to think about it is if you get over 2 or 3, and especially 3, this really turns into a simulated process print. You should probably be handling it and separating it more like simulated process versus 4-color process. But adding 1 or 2 highlight channels is really simple to do and can really make that 4-color process print come to life. Comment below on this video to tell us how you've added highlights in your 4-color process. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe because we have a ton of other videos on 4-color process and screen printing. Thanks for powering your print with Ryonet. So we went over all of the other stuff.